everyone, it's Nico and welcome back to the channel. If you're into Gunpla custom builds, tutorials, or in-depth reviews, you're in the right place. This video is supported by all of these awesome brands that help keep the channel going. Big thanks to all of them for their continued support. And a special thanks to SprayGunner.com. They've got everything you need for airbrushing, from top-of-the-line airbrushes to high-quality paint brands. Airbrushing can take your Gunpla to the next level, but it's also easy to run into problems if you're not careful. In this video, I'll show you the 5 most common airbrushing mistakes I see Gunpla builders make, and more importantly, how to avoid them. The first mistake is incorrect paint thinning. If your paint is too thick, it will clog your airbrush. Too thin, and it runs or drips, leaving a messy, uneven coat. Getting this balance wrong is one of the biggest frustrations for beginners. Here's the rule of thumb. Aim for a milk-like consistency. Not watery like water or juice, not heavy like cream. Just smooth enough to flow through the airbrush while still covering the surface. Think about how milk moves when you tilt a glass. That's what you're looking for. A good place to start is a 1:1 paint to thinner ratio. From there, adjust based on how the paint behaves. Some colors or brands will need more thinner, sometimes even 1:2 or 1:3. Others might work better closer to 1:1. It doesn't matter if it's lacquer or acrylic. The right ratio depends on the specific paint you're using. The key is to test first. Spray a little on a scrap piece or a spoon, and if it looks rough or sputters, add thinner. If it runs and pools, add a bit more paint. And if you want to be more precise, you can even use a small weighing scale to measure ratios exactly. That way, once you find what works for a specific paint brand, you can repeat it every time. Starting at 1:1 never goes wrong, and just fine-tune from there. The second mistake is wrong air pressure. If your air pressure is too high, the paint hits the surface too hard and you get splatter or pooling. Too low and the spray comes out weak and uneven, sometimes even drying mid-air before it reaches the part. For Gunpla, a safe range is usually around 15 to 20 psi for detail work like post-shading or modulation, and 20 to 25 psi for base coats. That gives you smooth coverage without blasting the paint everywhere. But here's the thing. There's no single perfect PSI. The right pressure depends on your paint ratio, your nozzle size, and even the paint type you're using. That's why it's always best to test first on a piece of paper for the right pressure before moving to your kit. If you see splatter, turn the pressure down. If the spray looks uneven or patchy, bring it up a little. Small adjustments make a huge difference, and once you find that sweet spot, airbrushing becomes so much smoother. The third mistake is overspraying. This happens when you lay down paint too heavily in one go. The result? Pooling, uneven surfaces, or worse, losing the fine panel line and surface details on your Gunpla. The fix is simple. Use light even passes about 2 to 3 inches away from the part. Don't try to cover everything in one shot. Build it up slowly, letting thin layers stack until you get a smooth, solid finish. Now, one question I get a lot is, what exactly counts as a pass or a coat? A pass is a single steady movement of the airbrush across the surface, back and forth, left to right, or whatever direction you're spraying. A coat is made up of several of those passes layered together to fully cover the part. So instead of dumping on one thick coat, think of it like this. Multiple light passes equals one even coat. That's how you keep the detail sharp and avoid paint buildup. The fourth mistake is a dirty airbrush. Dried paint in the nozzle or deep along the needle is one of the most common causes of clogs, uneven spray, or random splatters. If you force the needle back into a clogged nozzle, you can actually bend the tip. And a bent needle? That's never good. It will throw off your spray pattern permanently until you replace it. Or by some miracle, you fix it. The best way to avoid this is simple. Clean your airbrush regularly. After every color change, run some thinner or airbrush cleaner through it to flush out residue. At the end of your painting day, do a quick rinse so no paint hardens inside. And depending on how often you airbrush, do a deep clean and fully disassemble once a week or at least once a month. This keeps paint from building up in places you can't see. And this way, your tool stays reliable and your paint comes out consistent. And the last mistake is ignoring paint drying times. A very common mistake is rushing to mask or assemble right after airbrushing. The paint might look dry, but it's not ready yet. This can cause tape to peel the paint, leave tacky marks, orange peel texture, or even smudges when you handle the parts. Here's what you need to know. Drying means the top layer of paint has dried enough to touch. Curing means the paint has hardened all the way through, not just on the surface. Drying usually takes a couple of hours, but curing can take a full day or more, depending on the paint. To stay safe, wait at least a few hours before touching or moving the kit, and 12 hours or more before masking or assembling. If you want to speed it up, you can use a blow dryer on low heat, but curing still takes time. Think of it like baking. Just because the outside looks ready doesn't mean the inside is done. And that's it for this video. That's 5 of the most common airbrushing mistakes and how you can avoid them. If you keep them in mind, your painting will look a lot cleaner, smoother, and you'll save yourself a lot of frustration. If you found this helpful, check out my other videos for more tips on painting and building Gunpla. Before I end this video, I just want to give a huge thanks again to SprayGunner.com. They've been a huge support in helping me bring you guys more content. Oh, and I have an affiliate link with Spray Gunner down below. If you're planning to buy paints, tools, or airbrush gear, feel free to use that link. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon in the next one. Bye!